Particles need something to grip onto. You can use a video, image. Here I'm going to make a new solid layer and just accept the defaults. Off under effects and presets, I'm looking for particles, and I'm going to use CC Particle World, and make sure you select this one, not the other ones. And I'll drag that to my layer. You can see the particles system is set up. If you play, there's the default particles. So the rest of this video is about understanding what this particle system is and how to control it. Particles live in a 3D space. And when you do 3D layers, you don't have to make a particle system a 3D layer because it's already a 3D layer. More about that in another video. Right now, this is the grid. Looking at the properties for the particle system, under Guides and Grid, you can turn off and on the grid. And you still will see the particle emitter there. You can turn on and off the position, radius of the particle emitter as a guide, and the motion path it was animated. I'm going to leave all that on. Grid subdivisions, could decrease or increase that. The floor plays another role that you'll see later on. Being able to see the grid can help you out with certain effects that you're trying to achieve. I'm going to fold up the grid guides. Some of the visual effects fun is being able to sculpt the particle system, and many applications allow you to do it as you're previewing. Here I'm hitting play. If I play with the birth rate, increasing it, you can see you'll get bigger cascades of particles coming out. Or if I trim it down to almost next to nothing, just a few particles. So you could go from something that could be a fireworks display to something that we can manipulate into looking like water just by changing the birth rate. And the birth rate is how many particles come out of the system. As you develop your effects, you want to be able to play with the birth rate and other factors to kind of sculpt out the appearance of your visual effect. So going back and playing this again, let me lower the birth rate to something small. And next I'll deal with longevity. How long will this particle exist? If I decrease longevity, eventually the particles will disappear. Maybe you could see this as a sparkler or some other light effect after you place fastbox blur on it. If you need your particles to exist longer, you can just drag out the longevity, its existence. Right now the particle system is going from yellow to red, and that's a clue on the shift of colors from birth to the end of the system. If you go to particles, right there, and there's the particle tab, you can see this is the birth color and this is the death color. You can switch that from white to blue. Or if you don't want anyone to notice that your particles are changing colors, they both could be near the same color. Also under here is the max opacity, which is the transparency of the particle system. So at max, it's only 9% to 100%. This max opacity is controlled by the opacity map, which is right underneath it. Starts out transparent, goes to full opacity, stays up at full opacity, and then falls off again into transparency around the edges. To adjust that, when you roll over this area, the pen tool is there, and all you have to do is draw out a new map. So if you want it to be always there, 100%, just fill in the gap like that at 100%. If you want some other shape, such as it comes up, goes down, up and down during the lifespan of the particle, you can draw out that shape. If you want to draw out it comes up and then goes down like this, you can draw out a different shape for that.